Now I will going to discuss about two kingdom system of classification. Two kingdom system of classification was given by Carlous Linneus. He was a Swedish scientist. He simply divided organisms into two groups. One is Plantae and another one is Animaliae. He grouped all the plants into Plantae kingdom and all animals into Animalia kingdom. It was easy to understand and it is very easy to categorize the living organisms. But more than positive, this two kingdom system of classification got so many drawbacks. What are those drawbacks? Let me tell you. The main drawbacks are: one is it did not distinguish between eukaryotic cell and prokaryotic cell. Second one is it did not distinguish between unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. And third one is it did not distinguish between photosynthetic organisms and non-photosynthetic organisms. And final, and it also very important, is most of the organisms did not fall into either category. That means most of the organisms did not fall into Plantae kingdom or Animalia kingdom. They left out. Most of the majority of the organisms left out, and this is the major drawback. Now let me explain you briefly what is prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. I think few people know about prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell, but once again I will going to repeat it. Prokaryotic cell is very primitive. Eukaryotic cell is little bit more advanced. In prokaryotic cell, nucleus is absent or there is no true nucleus. Whereas in the case of eukaryotic cell, there is a presence of true nucleus or nucleus is present. DNA, that is genetic material. In prokaryotic cell, genetic material is circular and present in cytoplasm. Why it is present in cytoplasm? Because prokaryotic cell lacks nucleus, that's why the genetic material is present in cytoplasm. Whereas in the case of eukaryotic cell, the genetic material, that is DNA, is linear and present inside the nucleus because there is presence of true nucleus. That is why the genetic material is present inside the nucleus. And the cell size. Prokaryotic cells are very small compared to eukaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cells are little bit larger in the size compared to prokaryotic cell. Then cellular organelles. In prokaryotic cell, membrane bound organelles are absent. There is no membrane bound organelles. Whereas in the case of eukaryotic cell, there is a presence of membrane bound organelles like Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum, etc. Don't worry, we will going to learn deeply in the upcoming chapters about membrane bound organelles. Next one is their cell wall. That means in prokaryotic cell, cell wall is made from peptidoglycan. Whereas in the case of eukaryotic cell, cell wall is made from cellulose in the case of plants, chitin in the case of fungi. And one more thing is ribosome. In prokaryotic cell, that is primitive, 70S, that is subunit of ribosome, is present. Whereas in the case of eukaryotic cell, 80S ribosomal unit is present. And the example for this prokaryotic cell is bacteria, cyanobacteria, etc. For the eukaryotic cell, fungi, protista, etc. So this is the major difference between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. And another one is unicellular and multicellular. I hope most people know this definition of unicellular and multicellular, and it is very basic. Then comes photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic. Photosynthetic organisms are one who can prepare their own food by using the process called photosynthesis, and they are not dependent on others for their own food. That's why they are called autotrophs. And non-photosynthetic organisms are one who cannot prepare their own food. For food, they are dependent on others. That's why they are called heterotrophs. Example, fungi. For the autotrophs, algae is the best example. And another one is, I have already discussed, most of the organisms did not fall into either category. That means they did not belong to Plantae or Animaliae. So my dear students, these are the major drawbacks of two kingdom system of classification. Over the period of time, the scientists or people felt that this two kingdom system of classification is inadequate. We need to find another or new type of method to classify the organisms. So in the next class we will going to learn about that methods, what all the new upgraded type of classification the people found out. Thank you.